Welcome, everyone. This is Brother Doug with the Awakened by Yahuwah Fellowship Group. We are continuing in the Book of YaramaYahu. In modern English, that would be the Prophet Jeremiah. So we are going to start Chapter 7 right now, and I will be reading from the Restored Name King James. We all read from different translations and stuff to test them. So I will be reading from the Restored Name King James. You can get this free off the eSword for your Windows 10 computer or a Mac computer. So anyone that's interested, you can get a free version of eSword, and there's a bunch of translations you can get off of a website that's connected to this app called BibleSupport.com. Okay, so here we go. The word that came to YaramaYahu from Yahuwah, saying, "Stand ye in the gate of Yahuwah's house, and proclaim there this word, say, hear the word of Yahuwah, all you of Yahudah that enter in at these gates to worship Yahuwah. Thus says Yahuwah of armies, the Elohim of Yashraal, amend your ways and your doings, and I will cause you to dwell in this place. Trust ye not in the lying words, saying, the temple of Yahuwah, the temple of Yahuwah, the temple of Yahuwah are these. For if you thoroughly amend your ways and your doings, if you thoroughly execute judgment between a man and his neighbor." Verse 6, "If you oppress not the stranger, the fatherless, and the widow, and shed not innocent blood in this place, neither walk after other mighty ones to your hurt, then will I cause you to dwell in this place in the land that I gave to your fathers forever and ever. Behold, you trust in lying words that cannot profit. Will you steal, murder, and commit adultery, and swear falsely, and burn incense unto Baal, and walk after other mighty ones whom you do not know? And come and stand before me in this house, which is called by my name." And this is important, people. This is... You can't put any more emphasis on this, like, by his name. This is the place that's called by his name. So when the temple was up in Jerusalem, it was called by his name. We are delivered to do all these abominations. So basically, we can kind of use this terminology in modern day, how we're taught in the Christian church, oh, we will be saved even though we're committing all these abominations. Even though we're burning incense to Baal or the Lord, we're still going to be saved. It says we are delivered to do all these abominations, meaning that we're saved to keep on sinning. And so we could even kind of, put that in modern day perspective with the Christian church. Verse 11, "Is this house which is called by my name become a den of robbers in your eyes? Behold, even I have seen it, says Yahuwah." And right here, this is probably where Yahusha quotes from in the Brit Hadashah, where he's like, in the New Testament, where he says to the Pharisees themselves, he's like, "You have made my father's house in a den of thieves." So it's very possible that he could have been quoting from Jeremiah when he rebuked the Pharisees. Verse 12, "But go ye now unto my place which was in Shiloh, where I set my name at the first, and see what I did to it for the wickedness of my people Yashraal. And now because you have done all these works, says Yahuwah, and I spake unto you, rise up early in speaking, but you heard not, and I called you, but you answered not. Therefore I will do unto this house which is called by my name, wherein you trust, and unto the place which I gave to you and to your fathers, as I have done to Shiloh, and I will cast you out of my sight, as I have cast out all your brothers, even the whole seed of Ephraim. Therefore pray not thou for this people." Basically, do not pray for this people. He's saying, do not intercede, Jeremiah, for these people. "Neither lift up cry nor prayer for them. Neither make intercession to me, for I will not hear you. See you not what they do in the cities of Yahudah and the streets of Yerushalayim? The children gather wood, the fathers kindle the fire, and the women knead their dough to make cakes for the queen of heaven, or to the queen of heaven, and to pour out drink offerings unto other mighty ones that they may provoke me to anger. Do they provoke me to anger, says Yahuwah? Do they not provoke themselves to the confusion of their own faces? Therefore, thus says the Master Yahuwah, behold, my anger and my fury shall be poured out upon this place, upon man and upon beast, and upon the trees of the field, and upon the fruit of the ground, and it shall burn and shall not be quenched. Thus says Yahuwah of hosts, the Elohim of Yasharal, put your burnt offerings of sacrifices. But this thing commanded I them, saying, obey my voice, and I will be your Elohim, and you shall be my people, and walk ye in all my ways that I have commanded you, that it may be well unto you. Now, I wanted to stop here real quick because verse 23 coincides with the new covenant, and I just wanted to touch on that real quick. If you go to Jeremiah 31, chapter 31, verses 31 to 33, it gives you the context of the new covenant when Yahushua says, this is my blood that I shed for the new covenant. So it's talking about that Yahuwah would put his laws in our hearts, and he would be our Elohim, and we will be his people in prophecy. So where Yahuwah just said in Jeremiah 7:23 that I commanded them, obey my voice, and I will be your Elohim, and you shall be my people. Yahuwah is talking about the same thing in the new covenant. It's the same exact thing. So I just wanted to touch on that real quick. And then you go to verse 24. But they hearkened not, nor inclined their ear, but walked in the counsels and in the imagination of their evil heart, and went backward and not forward. In verse 24, this is what happens when we don't obey Yahuwah's commandments. We walk after our evil heart. Now, and I would even say this is the repercussions, because some people in the Torah movement say, oh, you don't need to wear tzitzis, you don't need a reminder, really. Well, according to this, we do need a reminder, because the imagination of our evil hearts is dwelling in us, and if we don't have a reminder to keep his commandments, it's very easy to fall down and fall into sin. So that's what I believe Jeremiah 7:24 is inclining, because it's the same type of wording that Numbers chapter 15 is being used. So I believe if we don't have a reminder of the tassels around our four corners of our garments, it's very possible we can fall into sin. That's just my personal belief. But anyway, it's a commandment from the Father anyway, anyone who's listening. So read Numbers 15, I think it's verses 33 to 37. Anyone who doesn't know about wearing tassels on the four corners of your garments. Okay, so verse 25 of this chapter, Jeremiah 7, verse 25. Since the day that your fathers came forth out of the land of Egypt unto this day, I have even sent unto you all my servants the prophets, daily rising up early and sending them. Yet they hearken not unto me, nor inclined their ear, but hardened their neck. They did worse than their fathers. Therefore you shall speak all these words unto them, but they will not hearken to you. Thou shalt also call unto them, but they will not answer you. But you shall say unto them, this is a nation that obeys not the voice of Yahuwah their Elohim, nor receives correction. Truth is perished, and is cut off from their mouth. Cut off their hair, O Jerusalem, and cast it away, and take up a lamentation on high places. For Yahuwah has rejected, forsaken the generation of his wrath. For the children of Yehuda have done evil in my sight, says Yahuwah. They have set their abominations in the house which is called by my name to pollute it. They have built the high places of Tophet, which is in the valley of the son of Hinnom, or Ben Hinnom, which is actually where we get the word Gehenna from. So very interesting. To burn their sons and their daughters in the fire, which I commanded them not, neither came it into my heart. Therefore, behold, the days come, says Yahuwah, that it shall no more be called Tophet, nor the valley of the son of Hinnom, but the valley of slaughter. For they shall bury in Tophet till there be no place. And the carcasses of this people shall be meat for the fowls of the heaven, for the beasts of the earth, and none shall fray them away. Basically, none shall take them away from being devoured. Then will I cause to cease from the cities of Yehuda and from the streets of Jerusalem the voice of mirth and the voice of gladness and the voice of bridegroom and the voice of the bride, for the land shall be desolate. Now, that's interesting. The last verse here seems to be correlating with Revelations here, where it talks about, and the voice of the bridegroom and the voice of the bride, for the land shall be desolate. So Yahuwah has taken away the voice of the bridegroom and the bride. And you can actually find that in Revelations, where he says, no longer will they hear the voice of the bridegroom or the bride. So that's the end of YaramaYahu, Jeremiah chapter 7. I'm going to unmute everyone here so we can kind of, if anyone has anything to add. I mean,
I definitely think that this applies to the house of Yehuda today, and I'm sad to say this because I am of the line of Yahudim. My brothers and sisters are all going astray with what they call Judaism in the land, and they're hanging on to the Talmud, which is witchcraft. That's all it is. It has nothing to do with this word. It is evil, and I will stress that to my brothers and sisters. I'm sorry, but the Talmud is an evil book, and it has led you guys astray very badly. And I pray that you would read the books of Jeremiah and Isaiah and study what it has to say. Study your Torah. The 5 books of Moshe say it all. Because right now you're falling into the pit because you're doing the things that Yahuwah says he will destroy you for. And I do not apologize for saying that.
No, you shouldn't apologize for that because it's the truth. It's, you know, and unfortunately, many Yahudim have been lied to by some Yahudim that are in the land that are not even their physical brothers and sisters. They're actually, a lot of them are converts that have moved from Russia and that have moved from other places and tried to adapt and tried to take your identity, as Yahudim tried to say. And they've tried to say they're true Yahudim, and yet they're promoting Babylonian mysticism and all this stuff. And they're trying to say, oh well, we it's the religion of the Old Testament. Well, the religion of the Old Testament wouldn't have you using numerology, wouldn't have you doing all the stuff that the Kabbalah tells you to do and the Zohar tells you to do. So that's not the religion of that's not the belief of the Old Testament. I don't even like using the word religion. And I recently found out that word religion is not even supposed to be in that one verse in Scripture. It's actually mistranslated. It's supposed to be true discipline is this. And actually, they mistranslated it from the Greek, because if you look in the Greek lexicon of the book of James, chapter 1, verse 27, it's actually supposed to be true discipline is this. And so the word religion is man-made. It's not even supposed to be there. But anyway, the true belief of the Old Testament was what Moses did, what Noah did, what Enoch did. They all followed Yahuwah's commandments. They all followed from Genesis to Joshua is what they had. That's what they had. That's all they had at that point. So, and personally,
and then you have the prophets. The prophets also obeyed, and they had words to say against what you do today. If you look at Revelation 3, verse 9, it tells you that there are those in the land of the congregation of Hashatan who say they are Yahudim but lie. And I mean, this is Yahuwah's word. It says this. So don't blindly follow the men there. Do not blindly follow any man, because men will surely say, every man is a liar, and Yahuwah tell the truth. And that's scripture too.
Yep, and I took the liberty to actually put it up on my eSword here. So just to back up what we're saying, Revelations 3:9, behold, I will make them of the synagogue of Hashatan, of Satan, of Gabriel, which say they should be Judeans, not Jews, should be Yahudim Judeans, and are not, but do lie. Behold, I will make them to come and worship before your feet, and to know that I've loved you. And to show you that it should be Judean, I'll just show you in the original Aramaic New Testament real quick. It actually says Yahushua was the king of the Judeans, not Jews. So I'll just show you real quick that in earlier manuscripts of the New Testament here, which the Aramaic is rumored to actually be before the Greek. Let me just go here real quick. Just one of my cross-references I found today. Matthew chapter 2, verse 2. And this is in the original Aramaic New Testament in plain English. You can get this on the eSword. Says, they were saying, where is the king of the Judeans, the Yahudim, who has been born? For we have seen his star in the east, and we have come to worship him. So that's Matthew chapter 2, verse 2, and obviously they're referring to Yahushua. He was known as the king of the Judeans, not Jews. So the term Jew, to make a long story short, is a modern term that is wrongfully used for Yahudim. Jews, anyone can be a Jew. Anyone can be a believer of Judaism. Anyone can be converted to Judaism and called it a quote-unquote Jew. But when we're talking about what a true Yahudim is, it's inwardly, according to Romans 2:28-29. It's one that's inwardly, not outwardly. And actually, there's a lot of mixture in the land right now. You have some Yahudim that actually are ethnically Judeans and Yahudim, and then you have some that migrated, like I said before, that are not even physically not even Yahudim. They're converts to Judaism. So and that's part of the problem too, is we have a lot of Yahudim that are stuck in that land right now that are being brainwashed by Zionism and being brainwashed by what these Khazars and Ashkenazis have pretty much brainwashed them to believe. And so I just wanted to add that.
You were breaking up a little bit, Doug, and it was sounding like a musical.
Oh, man. Hold on. So, all right, let me just reiterate what I just said, just in case anyone didn't hear me. So, what I just read from was Matthew 2, verse 2 in the Aramaic New Testament, the original Aramaic New Testament, which is also known as the Peshitta manuscript, says that he is the king of the Judeans, not Jews. So, to be correct with the terminology, even in our modern English, let's say that Yahudim is Hebrew, okay? Even in the modern English, it would be Judean, not Jew. Jew is someone that's in the religion of Judaism. So I just want to kind of put it out there. Terminology is important to know. It's important to know the correct terminology, and it's important to know the difference between a Yahudim and quote-unquote what is known today as a J-E-W, a Jew. So there is a difference. A Jew can be anyone that converts to Judaism. Anyone. It could be a Gentile, technically. Okay, so
I want to say this because when I first met Doug, I was still calling myself a Jew. So I learned from him on that note. It's no big deal. It's terminology, semantics.
Yeah, it's just important to know about this stuff because they've put that terminology in there to deceive a lot of people, because people call the Ashkenazis that term, they call the Khazars that term, and they've kind of usurped Shoshana's ethnicity and usurped her physical brothers and sisters' identity and have posed as Yahudim, and I think that's what Revelations 3:9 is talking, not just spiritually but physically, that they posed as Yahudim. And not everyone in the land is actually even ethnically at Yahudim. I guess that was the point I was trying to make. And
you know, even if you're not ethnically Yahudim, you can still believe the truth. That's not what Doug is saying.
No, that's not what I'm trying to say at all. Not at all.
What these people are doing, they do it intentionally. They're intentionally lying to you, saying they are of your heritage, of my heritage, and they're not. They're intentionally lying. There are of the Rothschilds, because it's the Rothschilds that set up, I'm sorry to say this, but it's the Rothschilds that set up the country of Israel.
Yeah, they forced out the Palestinians. You can even go into history. Go into a modern Bible, look at the map. Go into a modern Bible and look at a map. Look at the landmass that is now called Israel. In most Bibles that are in the 1600s, that landmass was called Palestine. You can look in a 1611 KJV. It was called Palestine. They took that land from the Palestinians, and I'm not saying the Palestinians are totally innocent, because it's a two-sided war that's propagated by the Zionists. They're controlling both sides either way. So, but what I'm trying to say is that land was physically owned by the Palestinians, and they called it Israel in 1948. They changed it from the name of Palestine and called it Israel. Got these, Russians, Europeans that believed in the religion of Judaism, got them over there in the land, a lot of them, and pretty much kicked out the Palestinians. I mean, this is history. This is like legit history, facts, that they kicked the Palestinians out of that land and then said it belonged to what they considered Jews, even though a lot of them that migrated there were just in the religion of Judaism, and a lot of them that migrated there were Russian, different, ethnicities from Europe. They just came there. So I just wanted to give a history lesson of and you can check that in any Bible you have. You'll see it on a map. You'll see what it was called before 1948. So I mean, I don't